Welcome everyone, or welcome back to my next video. This video today is the first of 6 in a series I'm going to be doing on the DIY fruit furniture in the game. So we're starting with coconuts, and it's pretty straightforward because coconut trees only grow on the beach, palm trees only grow on the beach. So of course I'm using a very small beach section. All of these builds for the fruit furniture will be on very small areas of my island. This first beach area is between my airport and my river inlet on the south side. So I'm sure many people have a very small beach like this, and it can be hard to figure out what to put there. Up until this point, I just had a little campfire spot, but nothing really too interesting. I tried to use this plank flooring, which meant I was putting a square inside of a triangle and limiting the space that I had to put down furniture, so I end up removing it eventually. I ended up moving things around, trying to make it work. Looking back now, I think this layout that I'm about to do with pushing the rattan low table up could work to make more of a conversation set kind of layout. I think that would be really beautiful. Actually, looking back now, I'm kind of like, oh, I should have tried that. But I ended up looking back at a reference photo that I had found on Pinterest, and they had a really beautiful setup. They just had a very simple beach area. I mean, it looks more simple than it actually is when you break it down. It's actually really, really well thought out and well done. But they had no plank flooring or anything on the ground. And when I realized that, I ended up removing the plank flooring altogether. And they also had the rattan table placed between the two chairs, which for my brain hurts a little bit because you can't sit on the chairs, but it looks so aesthetically nice. I realized at this point I needed some more rattan armchairs and some rattan stools, so I did that. I also went to my house and poached some furniture from there. I don't know if anybody else ever does that, but I find it useful. So here I am removing the plank flooring just to clean it up, make it a little bit more simple. I do end up putting some custom codes down on the beach, but that's much later on, more as rugs underneath the furniture that I'm placing down. It's also around this time when Lolly and Anchovy begin to descend on the beach. They cause a lot of trouble, but not too much. And there's Lolly sniffing a flower. She is just adorable throughout this entire build. So funny. And Anchovy's just lurking in the background, about to come in. Really funny. There they are in the back, planning my downfall. I move these chairs around quite a bit, and I've left quite a lot of my shuffling in the video just so you can see my process. I think in the future I'm gonna not put down flowers preemptively when I'm working on beaches, or custom patterns for that matter, because once you put down the furniture, you have to move things around anyways. And if you put down the custom patterns, you're kind of locked into where you've put them down. Also on the beach, it's hard to know where the flowers will actually get placed. So definitely recommend using a shovel ahead of time to plan the hole out before you commit. That's just something I learned personally from this build. I'm not sure if anybody else has this kind of beach that's incredibly triangular, but it's a little tricky because it's very narrow at the bottom and very wide at the top. So Oh, there he is. Just perfectly goes right in there. Right in there. That's fine. You're adorable. You have giant eyebrows. What can we say? He was my first lazy that auto-filled, and I just haven't had the heart to move him out, even though he has his base house. This is really comfy, Lil Bean. Feels so good to just sit for a while. Yes, I made her say Lil Bean. She also says, "Hey girlfriend," when she comes. Not girlfriend, but girlfriend. And I'm really happy about that. There are several items in the game that are 1.5 by 1.5 tiles. Very tricky to work with, and the palm tree lamp is one of them. However, it's not really an item that you have to center into like a floor space or something like that, so it was not too terrible to work with. I do end up, there you go, removing that one. Lolly is the star of the show this time around. Here I am moving the seating out so that I can actually include a stall in this design. After looking at my reference material, I noticed that they had a kind of juice bar area, and I wanted to include something like that as well. Also just to add some more height to this build because it was looking quite flat, even with the palm tree lamps kind of framing on either side. The palm trees are quite skinny, so they don't really add a whole lot of bulk. And here I have the stall. And just keep an eye on Lolly. The moment that I add this coconut juice, she is like, I am on it. Look at her little face. Okay, that's good. I'm gone. So then I time travel forward to get my Nook shopping items. At this point, it's not going to be changing that much. The overall layout is pretty much where I want it to be. I'm just making fine-tune adjustments and putting finishing details. So the fact that there's no flower over there behind this palm tree lamp, I need to go and fix that. So I end up moving my flamingo. I've had this flamingo at the front of my island since day one almost. It was one of the first items that I got, so she has to stay there. And we're adding some lilies everywhere. They're very pretty. I enjoy the pink, but I also enjoy the orange, and let me know which one is your favorite. The lilies don't really have that many hybrids, and I think I have all of them. Isn't it just pink and orange? I'll have to fact check that. Adding in a nice cacao tree. In all of these fruit furniture builds, I try to include a houseplant item. I feel like it just adds a little bit more character, even though these DIYs have a lamp included. I had to think, I didn't want to use the flower DIYs because that's kind of a separate thing to the fruit furniture, so I just tried to use only the fruit furniture and cataloged furniture or DIY furniture. And I'm adding that rattan rug underneath. everything. So this is just kind of the final step. As you can see on the right hand side there, I did attempt to make a kind of plank path that came down, and I'm showing the way that I wanted it to kind of go to make a plank little path. This creator actually has a section of the path that twists the opposite way, and I ended up not using this, but I might go back and get the fourth piece to this plank set so that I can make the turn in the opposite direction and try to incorporate this plank path in the future versions of this little space. But I think it looks great with or without it, so I ended up removing it and just sticking with the rattan rug. On the right hand side there, I did originally have it in a different position slightly, but yeah, we're just wrapping up, and I'm going to place this in the correct spot over top of the rug and we'll be done. So here is the completed coconut beach. There are only 2 coconut DIYs in the game, the coconut juice and the palm tree lamp. So I tried to include and incorporate as many of these items as I could because it really has to feel coconut if it's going to be all about the coconuts in this area. So I used 5 coconut juice. I think I could have used more coconut juice. I was trying to use the rattan table item at one point so that I could put 2 on a table together. It just wasn't really fully working out, so I ended up building a stall. This customization of the stall is one that you can get from Sable. So if you talk to her, I'm not really sure how many times exactly. You can probably look up a tutorial on how to get Sable's patterns, but once you get Sable's patterns, you can get this one, which is like a tiki hula girl. I also used a rattan blanket code that I have. Blanket? Rug? Rattan rug code that I have. You can turn it into a longer rug as well. You can make it into a horizontal rug pattern. I just had them, so I used them. I would not have specifically downloaded them, I don't think. Whatever kind of blanket code that you have, I find having a circular pattern under tables in a restaurant before, and it really has a good feeling. The only thing that I would add, and that you saw that I tried to add, would be a plank path going kind of weaving in between the tables. I'm very happy with it. Today I was able to incorporate 3 of the palm tree lamps because those are very tricky. They're 1.5 by 1.5, which makes them a little bit difficult to work with. Fitting 3 on such a small beach is kind of awesome. If you had the orange lilies, those would also work here. I did consider the orange lilies because they match this lamp better. However, I went with the pink in the end because it has a tropical vibe and it matches this little hibiscus flower on the coconut juice. So yeah, all in all, I'm really happy with it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. We have a lot more coming out. We have 5 more to be exact, 1 for each of the native fruits. So make sure to subscribe and like and comment on what fruit is your favorite. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.